Now you can share the presentation in that sheet. Okay.
Presentation. Oh, second.
So it's audible.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
audible. 1 second.
Now live started. You can start it. Okay.
12:30, sir. Exactly. We want to 12:20. From 12:20 we can start.
Uh, no. Meanwhile, you can start the re videos and re SAE India video. Just run it.
Okay.
Okay. Re video we created now on video.
Huh?
Re video we have created one video. No re video.
Correct.
That one and put it on the SAE India video also. You can put it in that running.
Right. Hmm.
Run the show. Okay.
Hmm.
Yes. Now it's coming now live. I will share the link live link.
Okay.
Now you able to see the live link
Yeah.
in the LinkedIn.
Link this.
Then you can share it. Nice.
ఏం చెప్తారు కోర్సులో?
నార్మల్ స్టార్టింగ్
Pawan, give me the votes, the co-host rights, go, Pawan.
Good afternoon, all. Rakesh joining.
Hey, good afternoon, all. CP join.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. This is Guru.
One will have to request whoever is not talking to be on mute.
Oh, CP, am I audible?
Yeah, audible,
Namaskar,
sir.
Guraj.
Okay, perfect.
Namaskar, Guraj. You are audible.
Yes, sir. Thank
Meshi,
you.
namaskar.
Good afternoon, all. Sunil joined.
Yes, man.
Namaskar,
Good morning.
Sunilji. Bidre, namaskar.
Good afternoon, CP. Good afternoon. all.
Hi, good
Venkat,
afternoon, everyone.
namaskara. Padmesh, thanks for joining. Vijay, namaskara. Yashdeep, namaskara. Yeah, good afternoon, CP. Pawan, namaskara. Is Varad also there?
I think yes, sir.
Pawan,
Sir.
if you can let me know how to set the background.
Okay. Settings, video settings, sir.
Settings, okay?
Background option will be there. Video set, background.
Where is the setting option?
So, Padmesh, you have a screen called Start Video, right?
Not sure, CP. Your voice is breaking.
Click on the
I don't know
arrow,
if
you will
others
get the
can
video
hear it.
options. You can go to change virtual background and change it.
Before joining the video.
Yes.
Okay, then we'll wait for a couple of minutes to join others.
Bidre, is my voice clear? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, sir.
Yeah. Now it is clear.
Okay, right.
Meanwhile, some
Can I share my screen?
Samar Patil.
Yes, sir.
Not sure faculty.
ஆரம்பிக்கலாமா
Randomly
அப்புறம்
wanted to
தான் நேற்று
know
சொல்றாங்க நான்
the
ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன்
participants by the time others joined. Samar Patil, not sure faculty, student, which college, and
In the meantime, do you have a master control for muting everybody and so that people who are talking only they can talk? Otherwise, we'll start hearing several background talks.
No,
also.
I'll try to mute everyone, sir, who is not speaking. If I mute speaker also, I'll not be able to unmute.
Okay.
So before we start, the ground rule is like everyone, please keep your speakers on mute. Mic on mute, sorry.
Yeah, good afternoon, Girish, sir.
Good afternoon.
Namaskara,
Can you
Girish.
hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Girish, can you confirm if the screen is visible?
Yes, I can see.
So let me know when to start.
I'm ready, but should we wait for some more people to join?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
1 or
let's
2
wait
minutes
Can
for
we'll
you-
wait.
that.
One by the time others join, you
Pawan,
may
can you
want to
confirm
run that
meanwhile how
video
many people
as
have
well,
joined?
waiting time.
53 right now. We'll wait for a couple of minutes and then we'll start. So parallelly, the session is also live streaming on LinkedIn and YouTube. So people not able to join here, they can see over there.
I think we should start considering the time gap time gap we have. We should start by now.
We'll wait for 1 more minute, so then we'll start immediately. Yes, sir, we can start. Over to you, Padmaswar.
Hi everyone. So thanks for joining the SAE India REEV 2024 online awareness workshop. This workshop is intended for raising awareness on this event because this is a very new event in the gamut of events under SAE umbrella. So today, a lot of speakers from industry, automotive industry have joined. They will be sharing their thought processes and the process involved in REEV, what REEV has to offer you. And we will be doing it through a below mentioned agenda of the day: SAE India awareness and events, why REEV is necessary for experiential learning, how REEV connects academia and industry, what is REEV and what's inside for engineering students. Then we will see something on overall REEV process, how to go for registration and what is the proposed team structure for REEV, key takeaways. Then alumni will share REEV experiences, possible ways to get sponsorship, and then we will have a live interactive session with our steering committee, organizing committee, and alumni members. Then if the time permits, we will have a look at making of the new REEV. Over to Mr. Garish and Ramasamy from Vitesco Technology, Head of Engineering, SAE Bangalore Section Chairman. Over to you, Garish.
Thanks, Padmesh. So how much time I have? Around 10-15 minutes is fine?
You have 10 minutes,
Okay,
but however, it's okay. We can continue.
okay. Thanks for that, introduction. So let's get into directly the topic. Maybe can you move to the next slide? Yeah, so SAE, stands for Society of Automotive Engineers, of course, based in US. Again, the name derives its roots from, Greek and Latin. So SAE, as I said, stands for Society of Automotive Engineers, where I'll take you through some of the history as well as how are we functioning and how you can be part of such a society where we deal with the technological advancements. So SAE India as such is an affiliate, a society of SAE International. And of course, we are a non-profit engineering and scientific society, and it's a premier professional society where we serve the mobility community. So wherever there is a movement of a vehicle or anything that whether it's land, air, space, and sea, I think we have our footprint. And we crossed 25 years last year by serving the mobility community. And we have more than 4,000 professional members and more than 40,000 across student members. And we are one of the largest strategic alliance for our SAE International. So having said that, REEV is the one recent event which is getting conceptualized in our Bangalore section, which will go pan-India, hence this meeting now. So next slide. So as I said earlier, SAE India, is affiliated to SAE International. We are headquartered in Chennai, and we have 4 sections. The western section based out of Pune, and the southern section based out of Chennai. I think I lost the slide. Southern section based out of Tamil Nadu in Chennai, and then northern section based out of New Delhi, and we have Bangalore section, which is quite unique, based out of Bangalore, because we serve not only the automotive but also the aero forum. So aero industry is also served out of our Bangalore section. So basically headquarters serves all sections, forums and boards, and also responsible for implementing the strategy set by management committee of SAE India, and to gather momentum as well as operating in a smoother way. HQ is the main responsible unit. And just to give who are our stakeholders, of course, student community, as you could see, is the largest community who is our stakeholders, part of UG or PG, where you could be part of different engineering programs, student competitions, and also conventions. Second one is the industry professionals. As shown earlier, we have more than 4,000 professionals from the industry. They can also they are part of different organizations, professional development programs, webinars, conferences. They can become judges, which I will touch upon later. Then industry captains like us, we are all volunteers. So you can see later as well, a lot of people will be speaking. We are all volunteers from the industry, either working for OEMs or tier 1 or tier 2 companies, predominantly working in the area of software product development companies around India. Faculty members, of course, they are also one of the backbone of our stakeholders, who are part of our community across different colleges in India. And government is also a stakeholder, because we are a neutral organization. We provide standards where it gets implemented through different government agencies. When it comes to automobile sector, we have 4 verticals: one for 2-wheelers, second one for passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, and 3-wheelers. So based on the standards what we set within the SAE community, these are the standards that gets into the design and development, and also the certification of vehicles that runs on our road. So this is how the SAE importance comes into picture during the release of any kind of vehicles. We also cover, mainly in the area of mobility, different topics that are basically future oriented through webinars or professional development programs and conferences. And you name a kind of future technology, we have it here. Either it's related to artificial intelligence or electric vehicles, software development, vehicle connectivity, infotainment, just name it. I think we have strong, speakers, strong technical leaders within the community, where you get such kind of latest technologies, what's happening in the industry. Next slide. Also, becoming a member means it's not only that you get access through only to the events, but also we publish our, future mobility magazine, which is a quarterly one, where it's a globally what's happening across the engineering fraternity. News gets published here. Being a member, you get access to this magazine, where really it helps being an student or a professional member to get to know what's happening across India as well as across the globe. Next one. And as I said, I think events and conferences, also the student competitions, I think these are our strong pillars to bring, different people under one umbrella. And maybe can you go on mute who is speaking? Thank you. So when it comes to, student competitions, REEV, as I said, this is what the future for our electric vehicle competition. That's why we are here today, where you get to know more and more about this event in the coming slides. Baha, Supra, and Tifan, I think you are aware of, where we do such a kind of competitions on an yearly basis. Aerothon is the one related to our aero industry. AVIM is for our class 6 to 8 students, where really the design and also the principles of physics and mathematics comes into picture. You can stay there. So apart from these competence, can you go back? Apart from these competitions, we also conduct a lot of conferences, as you could see on the right-hand side, SIMC Mobility Conference or Aerocon or iTech. These are all conferences or events which are really future-oriented, future technology-oriented, where you get to meet and see the future of the industry, how it is shaping up. Next slide. Again, how does this value chain really comes into picture is that it gives a kind of a larger group where you can get connected to different industry leaders as well as from the academia. And technical conferences, get to know about what's happening in the industry. You have the option of presenting or publishing your technical papers in different forums. You can get to know a lot of industry leaders, where you can choose a kind of mentor, so that you have that benefit of learning from each other. Recent trends and also the futuristic trends you can get to know, and through professional development programs you can really enhance your know-how, and you can connect with our subject matter experts for latest topics, and you can be a volunteer, so that whatever you have learned during the stay or working environment, you can give it back to India, and others can learn from you as well. It's a two-way approach what we apply within our SAE. Next slide. And then the question comes, why I should become a member? So the first topic on mobility magazine and newsletters, this is where what you can get as part of SAE to digest. And also you get discounts on technical papers, SAE technical papers and books, including the SAE handbook, close to around 10% discount you will get. And also whenever conferences happens, whether it's an India level conference or an international level conference, you get discounts. And also you will get industry experts where you get to know about the latest trends and opportunity to contribute from your side as well. Either you can become a judge if you are a kind of subject matter expert, or a jury or a mentor across various, SAE India events. A huge, network opportunity with the industry leaders as well as subject matter experts, where you can really learn a lot of things. Entrepreneurship, because we are independent, we give that responsibility to an individual so that, you get that entrepreneurship development as well. And we also, organize hiring and internship opportunities during our events. And then there are benefits for extended member benefits, especially on where you can seek benefits of SAE International. And also when it comes to scholarships, we do have at India level where students can apply for such kind of scholarship. And then we have the foundation awards for the contributions, given by different students, different professional members, where we also honor them. And faculty advisor program, which are really, really future oriented and also much needed to bridge the gap between industry and academia. Student awards, collegiate clubs, which is very, very important so that, it brings closer the student community and the industrial community, and of course the student events, which we conduct a lot. How we can become, I think for students, we have annual fee of 400 rupees plus GST, which comes to around 472. And for engineering students, we have this 4+1 scheme, which, if you pay around 2478, I think it's valid for about 5 years. Same for faculty members or the professors, they can also be part of, our community who are less than 28. There is a fees of around 1,000 rupees plus tax. And if you are already a kind of professional member, so the annual fees is around 1,400 plus taxes. I think this is the brief. If there are any questions, we can discuss, but I'll hand over to Padmesh for next topic.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for raising this awareness on SAE and SAE events. We now will move to our next speaker, Chandrasekhar Prasad S. He is the convener of SAE India REEV 2024 third edition. He is the delivery head for vehicle performances, IMDS and test labs at TCS. And he will be taking the topic why REEV for experiential learning. Over to CP.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Girish, for giving an excellent overview. Good afternoon to all my friends who are there, colleagues who are there.
CP, your voice is a little low. I think if you can be a little louder.
Is it better now?
Yes, much better.
Okay. So I said good afternoon to all my colleagues who are there on call. Plus, thanks, Girish, for giving an excellent overview. Good afternoon to all the students and the faculty who have joined. Okay, so you would have heard about why and how this SAE has come into picture, what benefits you get. Now, what I'll be taking to you is about the REEV and what is experiential learning. Whoever is there on call, can anybody say what is the meaning of experiential learning? I don't mind taking around 30 seconds. If somebody can say what is the context or understanding from especially from the student community about experiential learning. Can anybody say what exactly you understand by experiential learning? Anybody can try it. You don't need to be very formal. You can be very informal. Okay, since I didn't get any feedback, so most of you are students, you would have gone to your labs in your college or the faculty, you go to your labs. And what do you do in labs? Do you sit and study in labs or do you do any experiments by your hand, by your own hand? What do you do? You can also type your answers in your chat box. So basically what experiential learning means is you do it, whatever you have studied in your classrooms or in this particular REEV program, as a REEV as a journey, range extended electric vehicle as journey, whatever you would have been informed, taught about in the sessions which our experts conduct, you will be physically and practically doing or executing it. And this is learning by doing. The aspect of learning by doing is known as experiential learning in a very broad sense. And this entire REEV, Range Extended Electric Vehicle program, is a journey wherein you will study, whatever you have studied, you will start doing it. And by doing it, you will learn what it is. You will get to learn all the nuances involved in making a vehicle itself, full-fledged vehicle from end to end. This is about the REEV program or REEV journey, what you are going to learn. As you are already seeing on this slide here, there are 4 quadrants. These 4 quadrants, you can see in the first quadrant, it is safety. So remember one thing, in India, unfortunately, we do not give highest regards and respect to safety. And as SAE, as professional people from the industry, we give maximum importance to safety. Because what happens is, if something is disregarded on safety, whatever happens to any individual who is working in the professional industry or anywhere in any industry, if that individual gets hurt, what happens is there's a huge loss in resources. When I say as resources, it's both for the individual as well as to the organization and more importantly to their family. So in this context, we give maximum emphasis to safety, following safety aspects, and following safety aspect is another critical thing. And even prior to that, we give a safety awareness. It can be as simple as when you are driving a two-wheeler, you are supposed to wear a you are supposed to wear a helmet. You do not wear a helmet, the repercussions are everybody are aware of it, but they don't follow. The implementation, the following, the execution in the terms of wearing helmet is very seldom in India. Only when you see a police fellow standing with a stick, or with a police fellow when he's police person standing with a standing with the instrument wherein he is supposed to fine you or penalize you, then you wear helmet. And this should not be the case. The safety should be imbibed right from the start. So as we say, charity start begins at home. We expect everybody to be safety ambassadors and follow safety at every step. This is what we create in every aspect, whatever we do in the program. Then in the second quadrant, you can see energy consciousness. What energy consciousness is, how efficiently we manage energy. How efficiently we manage energy, because whatever we see today, it's all about energy. We don't want to waste any energy. This awareness we create, and in this particular range extended electric vehicle, everybody's concern or anxiety is all about range. How much my vehicle can go for, or rather, how many kilometers this vehicle can go for. So what we try to address here is, in this journey, how efficiently we can manage and how proactively we can protect our environment, and various techniques to be followed and implemented so that we consume less and try to get better out of it. This is the energy consciousness. And in the third quadrant, you can see as industrial application, how all these aspects, what you would have seen in first and second quadrant, how it is applied in industry. That is what is, you will be practically, you will be doing these things in your own workshops, especially in colleges, wherein industry experts will also join your hands, guide you. They'll not spoon feed you. They will guide you at every step what to do and what not to do. More so, they'll say what not to do. So then by doing that, you can get your own innovative ideas, implement, and start learning out of it. And that's what we call it as experiential learning. And third, last quarter is the diverse technology, which covers all these things. Diverse technology is, there are many technologies which are there today. Going forward in India, you'll be seeing ADAS, advanced driver assist system, how these things will come into picture. Then the vehicle connectivity, how the vehicle talks from one vehicle to another. The controls aspect, you would have studied just some basic things in your college or in your syllabus. And here our experts will say how to make a controller, what parameters to be considered in a real world scenario, how to implement them, how to get data input and output, how to manage with the data, how you control or into a closed loop system, and why a closed loop system is very essential and critical. This is one thing. And then the last but not the least, the what types of fuels or energy sources we are going to go upon in years and decades to come. You all know currently we are all working to save the environment. We all are trying to go towards carbon neutral. That means say we don't generate more GHG gases. In those things, in those scenarios, which is the better way, how do we optimize and utilize the energy? This is the other aspect. This is what we are going to cover in the diverse technologies. And next, what we are seeing on the next slide is how this interaction between various systems happen. As I said, is journey. If you see, if I start from the right side, you can see a word known as road to lab to map to strategy. What we do here is we make you work on the road. On the road, in the sense, it can be in your own college roads, wherein you instrument a vehicle, whatever you do, you acquire data from it. Once you acquire data from it, you will convert that into simulate the same thing in a laboratory to see what happens there. Then you get, when you see in a laboratory, your boundary conditions are more controlled, like what you do experiments in a lab. Once you do that lab activities, you get enormous data. With that data, you can either apply AI or ML and I think come back and develop different strategies virtually. And this is where we focus coming to virtual. What happens in virtual, by doing in virtual, you cut down on resources. When I say as cut down on resources, the money which you have to spend in making any physical things are reduced. And this is the concept which everybody in industry follow, and this is called as road to lab to mentoring. Then we do a complete mentoring. Whichever team is going to register for this program, they will be held by an industry expert as known as a mentor, and wherein he will help you, guide you, advise, and support you in making it, but they will not spoon feed you. Remember that, they'll not spoon feed you. And then we also have an effective feedback. Whatever you do in your colleges when you are doing this particular vehicle, they'll start giving you effective feedback. This is what was correct, what is not correct, how do we implement. Moving towards left, in the entire journey, the safety focus will be there. It will be almost paramount. That's the reason it's always there at the center. How to, even when you are doing any simple welding or even tightening tightening a fastener, you'll also be taught in a fundamental way how to hold a spanner and what not to do, what protective gear you are supposed to wear. There are different levels of protective gears, how you make it, how you use it. Then comes student engagement. Means when you have a student, when you have a team, you will be having diverse teams. The configuration of your team should be completely diverse. It is just not mechanical or automobile here. We need more from electrical, electronic, all facets of engineering. And when you get different facets of engineering, the students have to get engaged. How do you interact? How you discuss? How do you come down to a particular understanding consensus? That's another critical aspect. And then the innovation. When innovation is crucial here. What was there today, yesterday, will not be there tomorrow. So you have to keep incrementally innovating. Innovation is nothing but you might get when you are experimentally doing something, you may get very simple ideas. When you get these simple ideas, how do we implement and take it forward? Because you just cannot implement an idea, but to implement an idea, you have to take several aspects into consideration and then implement it. This also we guided because this is very crucial. And then it is the entire focus, right from start to finish, how we are doing it. It is just not the result, because we want students and everybody to learn out of it, so that when they come out of their colleges, they become good engineers and they do exceedingly well in their future course of action wherever they join. This is what it is about a journey. Next, going to what is it we learn? Whatever I said from previous slide, you can see we are completely shifting the technology. Recently, there was an article wherein the green tribunal on Mumbai, they said that you should go towards hybrid. Once you have a hybrid, it can be series or parallel. This is a series hybrid wherein you'll start looking at the electrification aspects. And these electrification aspects, whatever type of vehicles you are going to get going forward in future, they will be oriented towards electrification. And once you get into electrification, there is gamut of information, gamut of millions and millions of man and women hours are required to optimize these things. That's what you get to understand. And then what I said earlier, the range extended electric vehicle is basically a computation, so that you understand, to create that enthusiasm. We are making it as a competition, so somebody gets a pole position. And here we are looking at FE in mind, fuel efficiency in mind. When I say as fuel efficiency, even electrical energy is also a sort of fuel. We keep that in mind. And then during this course, you will learn from automotive industry what is hybridization, where to step in with the engine, where not to step in with the engine, where you can leverage from the electrical sources, lightweighting, how do you bring down your mass, how do you bring down your vehicle mass, what are different technologies which are available on our plate in our menu today, and what can be done going forward into your future, how do we optimize and create the entire complete awareness here. Then safety, both passive and active aspects. When you say as passive, when you say as passive is after an incident happened, whereas active is even before an incident happened. How do we protect? These are some of the aspects of safety, both passive and safety. Controller development, as I said earlier, you will be given tasks to design your own controller. You will be given the configuration, what is required, how do we put it together, even as simple as soldering. It's very critical. You start working on a PCB, how to design a PCB, you'll get to know about it. App developments and integration. Today, if you see all this, your generation, you all develop different apps. Now, when you develop an app, how do we integrate that with a controller, and how do we get a data which is meaningful? Just getting data which is of no use has no value. So how do we integrate that vehicle? You get to know about this part. And these things are today and going forward are very critical to mobile industry, as the mobility industry is also changing a lot. So that's where we are trying to see. Reason is what vehicles were there for last 50 years is going to change dramatically in next 5 to 7 years. This is what we are trying to build. And during this, you will get to learn the entire ecosystem. Ecosystem is just not making a vehicle. In a production scenario, how do we get a raw material? From where do we get a raw material? How do we get it to a next level, add value? And then finally, when you go to a customer, how you get it to a customer, whether are we meeting the customer requirement or the end user requirement? Because whenever a customer buys a vehicle, he looks at several parameters. When he's looking at parameters, whether we are understanding his requirement, we try to address this also, including type approval. How do we get a homologation type approval done for these vehicles? This is what it is. So finally, from my side, benefit to the student. This lineals will be really at advantage. As Girish earlier said, the amount of information you get, the amount of access to papers you get, what is happening in the industry and what is happening in industry, you get to hear from several industry experts. This helps you in honing your skills and opportunities which are there to explore. You get coached by industry people, so you know how the industry looks at. There'll be intense focus, as I said, road to lab to map on virtual development, so that we really cut down on hardware, so that we don't spend money there. And simulation and analysis, because going forward from REEV, whoever registered for REEV, you will get access to several softwares also. like softwares like MATLAB, ANSYS, and so on and so forth. You'll be getting access, even though if you have it in your college, but still the teams based on the team configuration, each team will be getting an access to the software. And finally, not the least, how to become an entrepreneur, how to become a giving hand, how you can do something better. In other words, how you can become a startup. Even this, and what opportunities are there going forward to become a startup, become a startup. All these things we are going to cover. Yeah. So this is all from my side. Thanks for this. If you have any questions, we can take it now or later also.
Thanks a lot, CP, for such insights on why SAE Reeve for our engineering student and what are the benefits it offers. Thanks a lot for such an insightful thoughts and vision for our students. Coming to the next,
Thanks for this.
our next speaker, Mr. Rakesh Bidre. He heads virtual product development at TCS. He is SAE IBS Bangalore section vice chairman, and he will be talking about how Reeve connects academia with industry. Over to you, Rakesh. Rakesh.
Okay, maybe sir is not there. I think we can.
Padmesh, seems like Rakesh is not there. Let me go through it.
Sure. So over to Sunil, sir, please. Sir,
Okay.
are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can. Thanks.
Over to you.
Yeah, so the basic problems we all face when we were students, guys, was a big gap between what we used to go through in our colleges. And when we joined industry, we found it was a different world, right? So we do identify there is a big gap, and that gap is still there. So this particular program, I don't call it competition, but this particular program is an effort to act like a bridge between the academia and the industry. The 18 months journey which the Reeve is going to go through gives all the necessary learnings to join industry from day one. So when we say necessary learnings, the basic difference in how the industry works and what we go through in colleges is the process which the industry follows because of a lot of deliverables, a lot of responsibilities attached to the work that the industry does. So that is what is the whole emphasis of this particular program. To help you understand and maybe to make you ready for being accepted by the industry from day one. This also gives an opportunity for the faculty and students to network with industry leaders and also get to know the trends and technologies, as CP just mentioned. We have curated this particular program to include both sides of the technology, which is the IC engine and the electric vehicle. So that is why we thought hybrid would be the right way to go. That way you get to know how to integrate things better, and which is the most important aspect that the industry looks for. Lastly, we have opportunities to visit test labs across the country, where we will try and create some forums based on which you will get an opportunity to visit some test facilities, how automobiles are tested in these centers, thereby giving an exposure on what are the criticalities in actually this machine called automobile. So we look forward to working with all of you to help you and us, not more you, but more us, to help ourselves to get the right talent, which is much better suited for the industry. And you guys might have read that India, overtook China as the in population. And there were some comments from China in terms of the quality of the youth that we have in the country. So those comments are the things that we need to, work past and help change the image of our country to be able to provide the right impetus which we need for the next 25 years. Thanks, Padmesh. We can go to the next topic.
Thanks a lot, Sunil sir, for it's a lot.
Padmesh,
Hi,
can you
Rakesh
hear
sir.
me? Yeah, sorry, bad internet connection, but
So Sunil sir took your slide. Maybe you can give your words of wisdom to our students.
oh no, again, thank you. First of all, students, thank you for joining. Faculty members, thank you for joining. I think you being on the call itself shows that 50% of what you want to achieve in terms of your career, in terms of your growth, is done today because you are participating in the process of learning. So first of all, heartily congratulations to be a part of this. It's just the beginning of that new journey, right? I'm not going to repeat what Mr. Sunil, Mr. Girish, and Mr. CP said, but one thing we can assure you is you will not only be able to learn how to build a vehicle, but you will be able to learn how to work in the industry, not only with any Indian companies, but any global companies across the world, right? Because some of the members who are on the board of this REEV are from different walk of the industries and have a global exposure, right? So it doesn't matter in future whether you work in X company, Y company, right? You'll be able to understand the nuances of industry, right? And prove yourself and become the leader, right? So this is just not a month's journey. This is a 18 months prolonged journey, and our endeavor is to augment the learning process in your respective university, institute, through your professors and through your teachers, right? So the combination of these two is what will take you far, and that is what the today's gap we are trying to bridge through a program like REEV. Again, heartily congratulations for being in this call and showing that interest to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Rakesh sir, and thanks a lot, Sunil sir, for guiding students on how to connect, how REEV connects academia and industry. Over to our next presentation, we have Dr. Manish Garg, who is part of the steering committee, and he is part of the TVS Motor, and he will share with students what is REEV and what is in for engineering students. Over to Dr. Manish.
Yeah, thank you, Padmesh. Is it audible, Padmesh?
Yes, very much.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you once again to everybody who has joined this call. Very important day for us, who we all are working, in this competition for many months, and this is the day we are now, unveiling this thing to you. So thank you for joining. So I think my job is already half done by previous speakers. They have set the context very well, that what it is there for engineering students and why we are doing this competition. I will try to fill the gaps, maybe add some more details, which will help you to, kind of envision where we are going. This all are covered already. Maybe I will touch upon one or two points is, this competition in one way is slightly unique than other SAE competition. I think that is very important to understand. So this is a hybrid vehicle competition, which is highly interdependent and, many different domains are coming together and working together. So it's a both mechanical and electrical, electronics, and computer science. All these fields are, try to, kind of join together in this, and we are doing this. So, so I will try to explain little more detail on technical side, what is there. And then subsequent speakers will discuss maybe further details on some of the topics. Next slide. Okay, so so as I said, this is a hybrid competition, hybrid vehicle, and future we, as far as industry, automotive industry is concerned, we understand that the future is not just electric and not just IC. It will be more, the powertrain. There will be different kind of powertrains. So one is like IC engine vehicle powertrain, then you have electric, and then you have hybrid, then you have different fuels for them, hydrogen. So it is going to be a big mix of powertrain, and that is why that is important, is that the future, the carbon footprint reduction, the challenges what we have in front of us, it may not be possible to achieve everything through one kind of a system. So hybrid play a very crucial role in this. So you can see in this slide there are different kind of hybrid powertrains. So we are going to talk or take up in this particular competition is the bottom right one, number D. So where you have electric powertrain, and IC engine is a support to electric powertrain in case of charging requirement. In case you do not have enough range, then you have an engine which will support the electric. So the purpose of this is like, as I said, it's a kind of a common powertrain design where all fields of science and engineering are going to be used to create this powertrain. So I will go a little detail in subsequent slide. Next slide. This is electrical electrical part of the powertrain. We will be having a battery, 10 Ah battery in this. We will be having AC/DC off-board charger, motor controller, and overall master control. So the purpose, what we are going to, as it is said earlier, what we are going to do is we are going to evaluate teams on how efficient they are in designing a hybrid vehicle. So they will be assessed for minimum energy consumption on a given drive cycle. But at the same time, this vehicle has to meet key urban usage requirements like top speed, acceleration, and gradability. So this will be part of subsequent sessions where we will explain what are the and this is the overall powertrain architecture we have in this competition. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, this is like the thematic. So it has all major component of primarily this slide is made to show that how the electrical architecture is. Maybe next slide will explain a little more detail. So this shows how the wiring harness will be there and different components of the system will be. And now the point here to explain is, go back, is that as a student, as a competition, you have to design this wiring harness, and you will be trained how this wiring harness has to be designed, and what are the different components, and what are the industry standards to design these things. So you will have this first-hand experience of how these things are done in industry. So this is like next is the high voltage lines, and previous one was the low voltage lines, and you will be able to learn how to integrate different component of the powertrain and how to do the wiring harness. So this will be primarily done by electrical electronic engineers. The next is you will be having option to, you have to design something called master control unit. Now this will be the heart of the vehicle, and this is the major component which is, again, I would say it is very unique in this competition. Other competitions you have either from SAE or other student competition, they do not go into depth of these things. So here the complexity and the major heart of this vehicle will be MCM, and you will be guided how to design this MCM and how to develop this MCM using different components, and how to later on control that. So all will be done. So it's I would say tremendous learning going to be when you will be part of this competition. And this will be assessed at different stages of the competition, which Padmesh is going to explain later on. So I would say this is the most important aspect of this machine. So a lot to learn and see how industry practice these things. Next slide. An app development, this will also be part of this competition. So you will be, asked to develop an app. So we believe that students from computer science background and computer science and electrical electronics background and many other related backgrounds, they will be able to be part of this team who will be part of control design and control programming and something like app development. So I think the details of this will be shared later on. These are the things related to how the overall vehicle design will be, the roll cage. Now the people who are going to work on that will learn that how to design a mechanical system, a chassis, and what are the different components for that, design of that, and how to integrate everything mechanically. So that will be also discussed here. So you have to do many calculations, computer simulation to create these things before you make prototype, and that will be part of the virtual. I think we will explain later. Again, unlike other SAE competitions, here you have to design. You are being given a kind of skin work, and you have to get it prototype done and integrate with the rest of the vehicle, and it has to look nice the way it's seen in the picture, functional as well. Yeah. Apart from technical and design skills, we also expect that student will learn how to, manage a project. That is what we do day to day in companies. When you will go to industry, you will be almost like having this understanding how to overall manage a project. So it's a very important aspect. So we will, industry leaders will help you to understand or guide you how to design a project. And again, it will be guiding. It will not be like, we will not be telling you exactly the steps. It will be, you will be doing, and we will be questioning and helping you to refine it. Next. Yeah, some of the important aspects which probably you may not study in your courses. Something called DFMEA, Design for Failure Mode Analysis. So this is very important aspect because anything we design in industry, it has to be designed in with the rigor, with all the expected failures which can happen and how to resolve those failures step by step. Now, this is another thing we will be able to, guide you students that how to design a DFMEA. And you will learn being part of this. So it's very important. Of course, you will be having a design validation plan. Then you will be guided like how to design a validation plan and how to execute that, how to manage that plan. And you have to design this vehicle and test it on the rig before putting it on the vehicle. So how that validation plan should be, and then how you will do that and what you will achieve at each stage of that design validation plan also, you have to participate. And finally, on marketing, I think we have other speakers who will discuss this in detail, but this is another aspect you will be able to learn during this competition, that how to talk to corporate industry and get sponsorship. So that will hone your skills on marketing and persuasion or negotiation. So again, very tremendous learning you will have. Next. So in a nutshell, like what CP said in the beginning, so it's you will learn this through by doing things, and I think it will be very enriching, and it will complement with your regular studies. And you will be able to see the direct application of whatever you study in day to day in your courses. So you will be able to directly implement that. So I wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Manish, for an insightful experience sharing with student what is there for our engineering fraternity and what is there for like both students and professors in when they take part in this competition. Thank you.
Thanks, Manish. I'll request Padmesh to go through the overall REEV process, how the things will be taken forward. Padmesh is a program manager at TVS Motors. Over to you, Padmesh.
Thanks a lot, sir. Based on all these sessions, you must be really excited to know what is the process, how this REEV will work in like next 18 months, and how you will be taking part, what things you will do, and what is the package that is there for you, what things you will get if you take part, apart from learning, experiential learning. So, and how will the evaluation process look like? So everything is there for you. Just pay attention to this. Just 1 minute. So the entire event of third edition will be split into 3 main events over 18 months. So 18 months, right, start from registration. It will be a 18 months journey where October 23rd will be the virtual competition. Hybrid bench competition will be in month of April and May 24, and REEV finals will be somewhere in September 24th. Exact dates will be notified eventually in due course of time, but this is like a tentative month plan. The entire motto, as told by earlier speaker, is experiential learning event rather than a competition. Don't consider this as a competition. Try to collaborate and help each other in this journey. Even at the college level, try to help each other. Even at different colleges, may support each other to learn this journey, because when you learn as a second and third year students, you will understand the process. And once you understand the process, this experience will be enormous. You have to understand this experiential learning in electric, hybrid, and energy efficient urban mobility solution through this REEV. This is very important, which is not the case for other events in India as of now. Introduce students to the rigor of disciplined and structured development culture as a prevalent in automotive industry, focusing on safety, innovation, quality, and sustainability. When you follow all this, you will be able to follow the launch of the vehicle, the REEV vehicle, in a flawless manner. When we say flawless, you will try to resolve all these issues when you start following process in a proper way. Then you can design and develop this urban mobility solution with better fuel economy, keeping environment and technology in mind, and what is the need for our future in a well-disciplined and structured development plan. But when you take part, what you get out of it? Of course, we cannot commit on the exact numbers, but somehow we have taken a kind of benefits that you will get. SAE REEV Simulation Awards, there will be winner in month of October 23. The winners, first runner-up, second runner-ups will get some prize money. And there will be possible internship option for right candidates who really show off well in the entire journey. SAE REEV Hybrid Bench will also have some awards. And then coming to the final, where the winners get a chance of like winning 1.5 lakhs with first runner-up and second runner-ups. And there are chances in the final where you will get exciting career opportunities through HR conclave, which are under discussions. Now, why virtual competition? Why is that competition required? Is because you get to learn vehicle design, you get to learn vehicle dynamics, you get to learn FEA crash, you get to learn controller design, you get to learn simulation, you get to learn electrical design. But the question is, why all of this you have to learn? Why you have to learn in virtuals? Can anyone anyone answer that question? Why you have to learn all these elements at the virtuals? Well, in order to save time, let me answer these questions. First, you can preempt real-world usage patterns in your lab to verify systems digitally much before the real vehicle is ready. So you can do a virtual simulation. You can also understand kind of failure mode at labs. You can also understand the kind of constraint in engineering design that you are doing. So you can refine your designs. And at this phase, when you take part, at least when you go on for registration and do take part in the virtual competition, the investment till this point is at almost nil, because you get to learn and directly apply at the software levels. Now, proposed 1 minute. So proposed mandatory and technical software trainings that will be coming in the virtual session, which will be around 60 plus hours of training, will be provided to you at free of cost. When we say free of cost, it does not mean that it is free for you to choose between the workshop. It becomes mandatory for you to go through this technical and software workshop, because industry professional will take time out for you. So because this is an experiential learning, you have to learn and then apply this. This is very important. So 60 plus hours of training. Wherever you see the yellow colored ones are basically a weekend. So after your college hours on a weekend, somewhere post noon sessions, you will have to spend 2 hours on weekends. And then wherever you see the gray shaded portions are the software workshops. So wherever you are seeing the gray shaded workshop, gray shaded portion is actually the workshop which will be on a weekday, either on a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. But that will be somewhere around 4 hours in the 4 hours. It will be broken into 2 hours each. So wherever there is 4 hour session, it will be divided on a 2 days. So generally per day you will have to have 2 hours on a weekend, and this will be from mid of May to July 23. And these are technical and software workshops, and it will range from product development to understanding of vehicle dynamics, CAD and design softwares, fundamental of propulsion, batteries, MATLAB, Simulink awareness sessions, electric drive sessions, ride and handling and vehicle dynamics, roll cage design, validation and interior ergonomics, and all of this is for you. And this is from May till July. And ANSYS, IPG, MATLAB, Dassault Systems, Altair and Siemens may be supporting few of the simulation workshops. And this is only to equip all the students and professors to design this vehicle. This is not a guarantee that you will be able to design the vehicle after having this training. This is only to bring awareness at college level students, how this softwares have to be used, how the skills have to be used, how the training modules have to be used during development process. So please take use of this, be very attentive, and you will be having remarkable results. Coming to what is in for you at various milestones. So right from March 23, the registrations have already started. The details of the registration will be taken by next speaker. And then today we are at online awareness workshop. Somewhere around 12th May, we are planning a mega workshop in Eastern India, physically at a campus in Calcutta. And then we will be having a technical session and software workshops from May to July, whatever I showed in my earlier slide. And then we will have a physical national level mega zonal awareness workshop along with question and answer. If you find after technical session and softwares, you may directly join us in the mega zonal workshop, followed by once you have this mega workshop, you can start your design activities and VCU development. This VCU development has to be started by August. In order you want your hybrid bench to be ready by February, you have to start your VCU development. The VCU needs to be ready. And for VCU needs to be ready, you have to start procurement of VCU unit parts, VCU or the MCM. The VCU is vehicle control unit. And then once you start your development activities, you will be mentored, as our earlier speaker told. As it is experiential learning, we will keep on guiding people. If they face problems, you have to come up with your problems. It's not like a spoon feed. So August, September, and October, and then we have the virtual competition design simulation event in October. So if you take everything seriously, you can very well take part, compete in this competition, which has a weightage of the entire event. 30% is the weightage for this event. And the evaluation for virtual competition will have, like, students have to prepare a slide, 15 to 20 slides. They have to share the slides in advance of the virtual event. Efficient design calculations and analysis for architecture, ride and handling, braking, motor, vehicle control unit, e-powertrain, calculation on range, state of charge, fuel consumption from engine. 2D and 3D layouts are required. Cost optimization for all your system subsystems, well-to-wheel analysis, overall vehicle development plan, including your hybrid benches, virtual DVPs, sourcing plan for each part and the bills of material, virtual simulation. Again, for virtual simulation for FEA, CFD, vehicle dynamics, crash and range efficiencies, control design and control architecture calculations, and exact guidelines will be shared to you before the event on the official website in due course of time. Now coming to the next event, that is a hybrid bench. What you have to do? Again, on a hybrid bench, you have to put your engines, then you have to put your motor and the load and the 48-volt battery, and you have to integrate everything on a bench. And why you need a bench is basically to validate of control strategy of a REEV vehicle over a bench, to understand the integration of all the subsystems on a bench, and to understand whether they work in sync properly or not. You have to fine tune what can be done at bench level before you make the real car. You have to ensure that you reduce on complexity while integrating everything on a bench. This is the second competition or second experiential learning event for the second part of the event, where you can be, like, if you do it really well, you will learn a lot of things on the bench. And how the bench has to be ready, what are the timelines for the benches? So bench is nothing but hybrid bench, which is a bench, motor, a generator unit, and a battery. So again, October 23 to Feb 24, because the bench will need a working VCU, which needs to be developed by February. You have to work on complete vehicle control unit development, right from interfacing of the sensors, processing the sensor values, controlling the actuators, and display outputs. Then the roll cage and mechanical subsystems and development will start in parallel. You can start your steering systems, brake systems, suspension, and skin development. And you can start your procurement from October. Since you will start your procurement from October, till October, you don't actually spend money on any part. But yeah, as we told earlier, before that, if you want to develop your VCU unit, you will have to spend on controller costing only. Again, then once the VCU is ready and this bench parts are ready, you have to integrate with motor, ISG, motor controller, and battery BMS, mechanical and hardware interface. Then you will do the bench level testing at college. Once the bench is running fine, you will have to share a video of the running bench to the technical committee of REEV. And then the technical committee will come to your campus. Don't expect them to come to your campus to check your running benches if it is not complete. There may be scenarios where teams may be disqualified if the benches are not running at the video level. So make sure that you learn in the process, and make sure that everything is ready by April 24th. And then the competition, again, 30% weightage of this hybrid bench. Again, remember, while integrating anything, your safety is first, and rule book is the way to your success. Read the rules thoroughly so that you don't miss on the integration fundamentals. Now, tentative cost of a hybrid bench, considering that bench will have a dyno or a loading setup at college and a fixture to integrate hybrid powertrain. The tentative cost will be cost of engine, prototyping, generator, controllers, and batteries. And some college facilities, either a loading setup like a dyno or something, or you can do it yourself along with jigs and fixture, can be at college level. So if I consider everything, a tentative cost will be 50% of the vehicle cost for a new team. If you are already taking part as a second time, you may only spend for controller because the engine will be old, the genset will be old, and the battery will be old one. Now coming to the evaluation for hybrid bench, considering that you will be making this bench ready by month of May. So then before May, you will have to send all this information, controller MCM development, again, demonstration in standalone mode, test benches and propulsion demonstration, development and demonstration, and for MCM control from EV to hybrid mode, app development, demonstration, control strategies, thermal derating scenarios, safety checks for contactors and relay, energy management checks, e-powertrain integration check, criteria for design, bench architecture, mechanical systems, 2D and design calculations, and cost for the bench, because it is also important that when you design the architecture for bench, you learn in the process. You just don't assemble all this just for sake of, that jugaad, that frugal engineering. You have to learn how you integrate. And then you have to prepare a project plan along with a work breakdown structure. And then after the working bench is ready, you will have to share the demonstration video 15 days in advance to send to the technical team of REEV. Now, why physical event? After this all, again, the last stage of the event is physical event. So physical event is basically how your real world vehicle will behave as per the DVP in different scenarios, to understand failure mode in real situations, to know correlation between lab to real data, whether what you calculated in your simulations is actually happening on a real car, and to capture failure modes and show corrective action plans. You just don't bring a wrong vehicle, you correct it. And to do a DFMEA and to do validate a DVP. And at this stage, you will integrate your bench parts along with brakes, knuckles, controller, transmission, wiring harness, suspension, steering system, vehicle frames, and vehicle body work, that is skin. So additional cost, how much will you spend on the final vehicle? Once your bench is ready, you don't again buy a motor because you only buy brakes, knuckles, controllers, transmission. So at this stage, basically you will have, as considering the tool, painting, grooming, skin, controllers, suspension, steering, electrical, knuckles, you actually spend somewhere around 50% more, which may be around 4 lakhs. Again, it depends on your cost optimization strategy at different zones in different parts of the country, how well you can get reduced part at reduced rates. It all depends on your management and your procurement strategies. So again, this is like 50% vehicle cost is in the bench and another 50% at the final vehicle. So why physical competition? You learn on REEV technologies, efficiency and well-to-wheel analysis. You learn on electrification. You learn on performance balance, safety handling and braking. You learn on ergonomics, driver comfort. You learn on styling. You learn on low cost and mass design, efficient designs. And you learn on vehicle evaluation strategies, how you will be evaluated in static and dynamic evaluations. So overall, like experiential learning, the final physical event will be once your bench is ready in May and June, you will integrate your roll cage with powertrain. Then you will test and validate vehicles. Then you will incorporate a feedback and then submit the running video of the vehicle to the REEV technical committee. Then we will have an on-site technical evaluation if you are okay. After we give a go-ahead, you will send your vehicle to Bangalore. In Bangalore, the event can be for 2 days. And you will have to take care of the logistic, come to Bangalore and plan your travels accordingly if you get a go-ahead. And then in September, we have the final competition, which has 40% weightage at Bangalore, possibly for 2 days. Now, final competition, you will be evaluated on mass of vehicle, sales pitch, how you market your vehicle, design correlation to physical vehicle, costing of vehicle, acceleration, energy consumption, gradient performances, top speed, technical inspection will be done there. Braking test will be there, acceleration, design evaluations will be there, and calculation on range, state of charge and fuel consumption from engine, and test report, whatever you have shared, the design verification plan and entire development plan for the vehicle. So focus of this competition will be on areas of energy balancing, safety, and new technologies. So that's all. Over to another speaker. That's all from my side. If you have questions, we'll take the questions later. Registration and team formation structure. Mr. Gururaj Kulkarni, Assistant General Manager from Volvo. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Padmesh. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I think I'll just take a few moments on the registration and the team formation structure. And thanks to all my previous speakers, which they gave a very good overview for complete cycle, where it starts from scratch and then till end of the physical validation. With respect to the registration, it's started in the March and it is going to end by mid of May. We have under 2 weeks of time for a registration, and the registration cost is around 30,000 plus, which includes the GST. And the team, which consists of 25 students. Basically, there are four main key players. One is the captain and vice captain, and there would be two drivers. The one is the main driver and the co-driver, and rest 21 other members, and the two preferably the faculty advisors. And also with second and third years engineering students are preferred, and of course the fourth year would be there, and they would guide you and mentor you based on their learnings in the previous years as a part of this program. And we also recommend the good mix of gender diversity in the team, and one or two students from the first year, so which really helps them to get into this program from the first year itself and to take it forward. So the other thing, I think the composition of a team, which is very important. We look for the diversified team. So why basically the diversified team? As the previous speakers touched upon, the vehicle consists of many components or the subsystems which belongs to the different streams. For example, the motors or the battery or the MCM or the electrical wiring, even the low voltage and the high voltage, and also the mechanical oriented subsystems like steering, suspensions, etc. So to have a good the design of a vehicle, it's not just the mechanical or automotive students, but it should consist of all the streams. Even previous speakers touched upon the app development and integration. So there also it requires even a computer science, electrical and electronics engineers here. Basically, the split would be mechanical automotive is around 10 students, and then electrical electronics or instrumentation and mechatronics even it's around 10, and rest software or chemical engineering would be 2. So this would be the composition of a team, which really makes the effective team to have a good design. Yeah, I think that's thing about Padmesh. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So requesting all the teams to register soon for this event, considering the timelines left, because there are a lot of things which you have to do after you register. Or to our next speaker. We have Mr. Vijay Kumar, who is a technical leader from SAG Automotive, and he will tell you about the key takeaways that you can take from REEV. Over to you.
Hello, Padmesh. Hello, all. Am I audible, Padmesh?
Yes, very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all for being this long in this call. So next slide, Padmesh. So I will just summarize on the key takeaways which have already been discussed by all the speakers in this session. So the first key takeaway would be the vehicle engineering concept from the design to build. We have the standard product engineering or vehicle engineering methodology here, that we start with a concept, we iterate our design, we use the industry standard tools, we do a model, and then finally we build the vehicle. So for me, this learning itself would be a major takeaway here. Yeah, next slide, Padmesh. Uh, to effectively succeed in building this vehicle, we need to understand the complete scope of this vehicle build. We have to align with the schedule, and we also have to control the cost of this final product. So project management is where which comes into supporting this whole build. So we suggest the team to have the standard project management methodology to be followed here. Since the team is also a multidisciplinary, multi-gender team, the team building and management skills of this multidisciplinary team would be handy, where the project manager or the leadership leadership skills would be required to succeed as a team, because there is a lot of common goals and there is a co-working among the multidisciplinary team here. We has explained in the previous slide, we have engineers from electronics, electricals, mechanical, civil, chemical. So there is a mix of all these engineering streams. That's why the co-working to achieve a common goal is very much required. Next slide, Padmesh. Of course, we have touched upon this topic where the electrification and hybridization concept is a main technical takeaway here. Coming to the experiential learning here, we engage the teams over this period of review into understanding the working of the motor, the working of the generator. The selection of the battery pack itself is one of the major criteria here. This helps in the SOC and range calculation, and validation of the BMS battery management system. Finally, what has been discussed in the previous slides is the development of the VCU or the MCM, what we call the vehicle control unit. This is a huge subcomponent itself from the embedded system perspective, and developing this and also effectively controlling your vehicle is a main takeaway from this development. Yeah, next slide, Ramesh. As in the standard product development, the system development is a major uh, area. So once the system requirements are defined, then the other subsystems like the mechanical, the hardware, and the software development happens in parallel. We follow the standard V-based V model development for the every subcomponent development, and to manage all the development in parallel, like this mechanical hardware and the software, there should be an effective project management with the standard project management approach. Examples of, say, the mechanical requirement or mechanical development cycle would be the roll cage designs, suspension, brake, steering. Similarly, when it comes to the hardware development, that is the embedded or the electronic hardware development, the MCM development, selection of the temperature sensor, selection of the motor for throttling. This itself becomes a part of the V cycle development for the hardware development. Once the hardware for the embedded system is selected here, then goes the next stage of acquisition of the various sensor values and throttling the sensor or throttling the motor for the ICE engine control, doing the motor control. All these things are a part of the technical learnings here. Next slide, Parmesh. As we touched upon the virtualization concepts and simulation, we would be definitely virtualizing the complete Reeve vehicle here. We have the basic subsystems available from the Simulink environment, where the steering example, the powertrain, drivetrain, all these things are available. These models are available. What we have to do is we have to tweak it as per the technical specification or the technical requirement of the Reeve vehicle, and then there are multiple things in this simulation environment that has to be done, which will be proposed in the rule book, and those results are to be presented in the virtual competition. Next slide, Parmesh. One of the major concept which I'm touching again, since we are moving more towards a software-defined vehicle, the entire V model for the software development and system development is very important here. We start with the SOR, that means the requirements. Then we define a system architecture here, because this is very important, that how our architecture is defined, what are the interfaces available in our architecture, and how do we model this architecture. So we propose a standard model-based function and software development methodology for the control engineering perspective, which will be used to develop this software, which can be easily flashed on the vehicle control unit or the controller, microcontroller in the vehicle controller unit. We also simulate this whole software components, and we do the code generation for the embedded targets here. We have the standard software in loop and hardware in loop testing available, which is on the right side of the V model. And then as a part of our final validation, the vehicle validation, the function testing, the communication, that means we have a standard CAN controller here. So communication testing becomes critical, and the vehicle testing as a part of the standard procedure. So ultimately, these are some of the core concepts that we learn in this whole journey of REEV. Yes. I think that's all, Parmesh, from myself. Yeah, of course, this is touched upon, and I don't want to repeat it. Of course, all team gets a chance to participate in the internship programs. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Vijay, for sharing about what is there for our students as a key takeaways. Go to our next speaker, Yashdeep, a very young alumni from SAE India REEV, past sessions. He is now working with Bosch. He will share overall REEV experiences. Over to you, Yashdeep.
Thanks, Parmesh. Good afternoon, everyone. So, Parmesh, you can go on to the next.
Yashdeep, could you be a little louder?
Is it better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Thanks, Parmesh, and good afternoon, everyone. So, Parmesh, you can move on to the next slide. So, I participated in the first edition of REEV. I was in third year of my engineering. So, I gained a lot of things from REEV, and I'll just presenting what all things I learned through the experiential learning program of REEV. So the first very important thing is that during college, we only learn about concepts, how a circuit works, or how a mechanism works, or a IC engine works. We only understand the working, but we don't go get an exposure to how it is supposed to be developed for a product, and how it's exactly done, actually done in the industry. So there are multiple processes involved while developing a product. There are specifically for automotive industry, there are concepts like functional safety. There are processes like FMEA, which earlier speakers also mentioned, which the students are not much aware of during their third year or second year of engineering. And because of these participating in REEV, we get an exposure to these concepts as well, and we are able to learn these at, much before than we going to the industry. We are getting we get exposure to the tools which are being used in the industry. So it's a very important aspect. It's not just about making a motor work. There are 1,000 ways of running a motor, but how do we do it for an electric vehicle? There are ways to run a motor for an industrial application or for medical application, but how do we do it for an automotive application? There are multiple aspects which has to be considered: safety, what will happen if some failure happens. So these concepts we are made of aware of, and yeah, again, while working on these things, also the safety awareness, as CP sir had mentioned earlier, what safety we have to take care of while working on the vehicle. Another very important aspect which I felt was interdisciplinary mindset for the product development. Even though right now, someone also mentioned in the chat box that what will be the role of mechanical engineers in coming years as we are moving towards electric vehicle. So now earlier we had the concepts of different domains in engineering, electrical, mechanical, or civil, software side. But now moving forward, we need to have, everyone needs to have an interdisciplinary understanding of all the aspects of a project. Not just automotive sector, any sector, if you go, any industry you go, you need to have an overall understanding of how, what all things go into developing a product, whether it can be any product. There are aspects of mechanical engineering, electricals, electronics, software, design, and even management and marketing are very important aspect of this. While I was working, when I joined the team of Reeve, at that time, I was an electrical engineering student. I was mainly focused on my topics only. But when I joined, I started interacting with my seniors from automobile engineering department, mechanical engineering department, and industry experts. So I got an overall understanding. Obviously, if we are talking about an hybrid electric vehicle, we are not an electrical engineer is not just supposed to know about the electrical concepts. He needs to understand the IC engine, how the working of IC engine also, because he needs to understand how the battery works properly, the chemical. The another part which is very important, which I felt I didn't much focus on these topics: management, marketing, fundraising. I never focused on. I thought that okay, I'm a technical guy. I'm not. No, I might not focus on these things. I can work without it. But that's not the case, and I understood it very clearly when I participated in this event. And we faced a lot of issues with respect to management and fundraising of the management of the team and the fundraising which we had to do for our for our vehicle development. So even if why it's important is, my understanding is, even if you find a cure for a major disease, no one if you're not able to present it properly, or you're not able to package it, market it properly, no one is going to fund it. And if no one is going to fund it, no one will be using it. You will not be able to make it available for people to use it. You have to convince people to use your product or fund your product. You have to get them in confidence, and that whatever you are developing is worth investing in, and that is a very important aspect. So these all points also, as earlier speaker mentioned, it's also about developing entrepreneurship in the students as well. These all points are relevant for if you're going for your own startup, if you're making a product. These all things come into picture, and you have to be prepared with these things. And if you have an exposure from an early stage, it helps you a lot when you're actually going into the industry or starting your own company. Next slide. So, permission, next slide. Yeah. So another some personal topics which I feel is very important. When I joined Reeve, I did not have much interaction with my seniors, and after I joined, I understood how to work in a team. We were a team of 25 students, and like everyone had their own idea. There were a lot of conflicts on how to implement something, and working in that in such a big team made me understand how to. I had like my team captains and vice captains. They were very good at these resolving the conflicts and how to get everyone on board and move ahead. So I got to learn about these things a lot from them in the team, and also you bond with your teammates when you're working day and night for 18 months on something. Obviously, there's something, some bond supposed to be developed between the teammates, and that's where you fail together, you face some obstacles, and you learn together. It's not just I remember we faced a lot of problems with the IC engine, and even though I was not from automobile department or mechanical department, I used to sit there with these departments, and we used to figure out how to get it working. I learned a lot in the process. Similarly with the motor and electrical powertrain part also, they used to sit with me and they used to help me, and they also learned a lot of things. So it's a very important aspect. Another thing which I felt, which I gained, is humility from this by participating in this event. There's no one more confident than a third-year engineering student. We have been recently exposed to a lot of technical topics, and we think we know everything. But let me tell you, don't know everything, and not to worry, no one does. Even in industry, with people, even our technical, even our uh, uh, committee members would agree. Even after 20 years or 30 years of experience, people are still learning. There's no one who knows everything. So it's a very important. That taught me that okay, we have to. It's not just stopping at that. I have to keep on going and improving on my learning as well. And if Padvish, can you go back to the previous slide just one? Yeah, another important thing is it's a very good platform for showcasing your learning skills. And why we say learning skills, as earlier it has been mentioned, that it's not just a competition, it's a program where it's you're not being judged for what you already know. It's more about how you will be, how fast you're learning, whatever is being, whatever you are going through this journey, how fast you are able to learn and how good you are able to grasp the concepts. And another very important point is the REEF certificate is something which is not going to get you help you get a job. It's just a paper. From my experience, I will say at my current job and the previous one, during the interviews, no one asked for I participated in a lot of events. No one asked for a certificate. Don't do it just for the certificate. Getting a certificate, you have to learn, and that's what will help you in the interviews also. When the interviewer asks the questions, they mainly focus on what you have done, and based on that only they are going to ask questions. Certificates hold no value. Only whatever you are going to learn is going to help you. Next slide. And apart from these, next slide. So even if you don't consider these things, do it just for the experience. The Revis had some of the best memories which I made during my engineering. You can see all these photos. We were such a big team. I made so many friends. Even I made friends with my seniors from different departments. We used to work day and night. The photos which you see is in the lab. We are working at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night. That's me sleeping in one of the test vehicles in our lab in the back seat. I'm just sleeping there after working for 36 hours continuously. So this is about this is one experience which I want that all students should have. This helps you develop a personality, and you develop understanding of how things are supposed to be done, and you need to commit to something. Okay. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thanks a lot, Yashdeep, for such a passionate talk about sharing this awareness on your experiences. And I would also want, someone of you who have joined today as student members to join us maybe coming years as one of the alumni members to support and share your talks again. Coming to our next alumni, also very young, and he will be telling you about what are the possible ways to avail sponsorship. So Haniketan, he is an alumni. He will be sharing that experience. Over to you, Haniketan.
Hello everyone, I'm Aniketan and I was a team captain for Malnad College team, the second edition of REEV. Yeah, so talking about
Haniketan, just considering the time, I would request to finish in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. Yeah. So like I would share my experience about sponsorship, like how we found sponsors and how we raise the funds. So starting with we started with the college. So because like when we are going to find funds, like it would be difficult directly approaching somebody who is not aware about these things. So once it starts at college, everybody else would be eager to join and help through it. So one thing which helped us a lot was breaking up the cost. So directly going and talking about like a large amount would be difficult for a lot of people to support with, and so breaking up into subsystems like a brake, suspension, steering, this would help them understand what they will be contributing towards this, and also showcasing the achievements if anything is like any awards or recognition which is got. And also when you're approaching college, it's important to tell them what is the plan, other funds, how we are planning it, and such things. Next slide, please. And one more major thing is alumni network. So depending on how old the college is, we'll have a lot of alumni who would be very much helpful, and they'll be very much forward to help you guys with funds as well. So basically, like how we went and approached was like when we break up the components, then we approach them and ask them like if their batch can support into breaks, something like this. So that they will come together with their best, they'll talk, and they'll be able to help us with monetarily somehow. And also like meeting them in the exhibition. Basically, it's about building network and connections, which would help out a lot even for your future and other things as well. Next slide, please. So in these stages, like having a website and preparing documents like brochures would be very much that would make sure that whoever you are asking for sponsor would come forward or not. And talking about grants and CSR funds, there would be a lot of companies who would be into like who would have to support some projects for as the corporate social responsibilities. And if you'll be able to pitch it right and propose them with the right document and make them understand why what you're doing comes under CSR, you will also be able to raise some funds from there. There will be a lot of industries around it. Next slide, please. Yeah, coming to sponsorship, the main thing is like you can also approach some places where you are getting the components and ask them for discount or completely components for free, where you will be advertising their company or brand through your vehicle. And this would also be a good source for sponsorship. And when we are talking about this, its main important thing is we create a value of our project so that they'll be interested in sponsoring. So you can see basically a chart here. So as Padmesh sir has spoken earlier, this can be split into like two different parts. Like half of the funds can be raised before the virtual competition, so that you can use those funds for the bench testing. And once you'll be around the date for bench testing, you can raise the remaining funds for completing the whole vehicle. Next slide, please. Yes, and you can see the testimonials. One thing is REEV is, as a lot of speakers have spoken already, REEV is it's a very different event compared to others, and it itself has a lot of value of it. And even reflecting that through your teams, it will help a lot in raising the funds. Next slide, please. And you can see here about the REEV, we can see a lot of articles in the media. One in the FICITA, World Automotive Congress as well. And these things can be like points to pitch on. Next slide, please. Yeah, and you can see here some clips from the media. We can see our Honorable Chief Minister, Present Chief Minister, Basuraj Bommai sir, he's driving the vehicle. And this all can be utilized while pitching it, so that people, they feel like, they connect to it in some way. These are some images from. Thank you, everyone.
So thanks a lot, Aniketan, for sharing with our members how they can go for sponsorship at various event timelines. Now the last round, which is open round, and it's basically, SAE India REEV 2024 question and answer session with Sunil Gupta, who is heading sustainability in TCS, and Vijay Ramakrishnan, delivery manager TCS, and our steering committee, organizing committee. So the session is now open for a question and answers. So one by one, you guys can put your questions to the team, and we will be glad to take all the questions. Over to you. Now this is open session, open to Sunil sir and Vijay.
Thanks, Padmesh. I would request all OCSC members in the meeting right now to switch on their video cameras, if it is possible, guys. Thank you. So thank you all for these sessions. I hope everybody got a good insight of what we are trying to do here. Just to add, as I said earlier, this is not a competition for us. The journey is more important, and journey has a lot of value than the result. So in fact, the journey in itself is the result if we really look at it. And we really want all of you to have this experience before you launch yourself into the industry. That is the basic reason for this competition to exist. And we would look we are open to questions. Either you can put them in chat or you can unmute yourself and ask the questions.
Hello, sir. Sir, how it helps to get a placement?
So I think what Yashdeep said, that is our basic motive. It's not that we will arrange for placements. The way the thing works is when we all do engineering, right? When we all study, there's a lot of stuff that is put on us. And in that whole process, we work for exams, we train ourselves to score marks, we get good grades. But ultimately, what industry is looking for is not grades. Grades are only a way of measuring relativity between people. Otherwise, from an industry standpoint, when we look at people who can help us to grow our own industries, it's not the grades that matter, it's the content that matters. So when you do this journey of vehicle development, which is perhaps the most disciplined process in the industry as a whole. So an automotive industry process, if you learn, you can apply it left, right, center in all industries. And I can vouch for it that this process, what we have in automotive industry for vehicle development, is perhaps the most efficient process in the overall industry, which can be used. So once you have an exposure of this, it's like you are ready for anything and everything in life. So when you go to interviews and face people, it will definitely change your attitude, your aptitude, your mindset, which will for sure be understood by people and they will see value in you. So that is how this will help you.
So just to add what Sunil San said, right? If you just focus on the marks, you have to look for the job. But if you go through review, job will be looking.
Yeah, right, Rakesh.
Industry will look for you. Right? So that's the difference you will see when you go through that process. While you will obviously establish a lot of connects, how industry works, what is the right organization for you, you learn through that process.
So one thing more, maybe I would like to pitch in here, Rakesh and Sunil. See, Reeve is giving you the tools. If you sharpen your tools, apply it, learn all the rules, and show it on the day of your interviews when you are going for any interviews with any panel, this knowledge will help you a lot. You will be out of the box at your own level. So now, as students, if you have to stand out of the box at your college levels, of course, this kind of event, which has variety of element, will make you stand out of the crowd.
So just to add, and this is back in 2019, 9 students from one of the institute in Bangalore applied for interview in one of the major global company, and all nine of them got the placement where they could actually confidently answer all the questions because they went through this rigorous process and can successfully clear that interview. Right, 9 out of 9. Now they have not that they just got that one, placement. They got many, but they had a choice where to go, right? So that is how things will change for you if you do it in a very disciplined way.
And just to add something more, guys, if you do something yourself, there is nobody else who knows it better. So interview or no interview, whatever interactions we are having in the world, forget about interviews. The way you win that interaction is bring the interaction to your area. So once you get into it, since you have done it yourself, you are the master.
Yeah, maybe we can move to the next question.
Hope that helps. Any other questions?
Please use this opportunity for a question and answer before you go ahead with registration. This is very, very important for all of you to take this opportunity. All people are today available at the same time. So please take this opportunity.
Okay, by the time we wait for some questions, Padmesh, I just want to add to whatever was said earlier. Of course, there is a lot of stuff which we have shared today. And I realize it seems to be a little complicated, but I want to assure you engineering is the easiest thing to do. And it is something that we do every day in our routines, right from morning till evening, including our maybe right from kitchen to getting ready to going somewhere. Everywhere we have a problem, we solve the problem. That is what engineering is. And this is no different. This is exactly same as solving any small problem, big problem. The approaches are if you follow the right approach, the problems become simple.
Sunil, one question just came, and I saw that question. Is SE Collegiate Club or SE membership important to take part? Because considering the timelines and registration, in next 2 weeks, we will be having closure. So is it really that's the kind of question I saw in that. So Rakesh, or yeah, please, Rakesh.
Former collegiate club is not mandatory, right? Membership over a period of you can join. Once you see the, we definitely recommend, because REEV is one forum where you can go through, but like Mr. Girish suggested at the beginning, there are a lot of other benefits. So we strongly recommend you to become the members, but collegiate club is not mandatory.
Thanks, Rakesh.
Shivaya, hope that answers your question. If not, you can speak.
Any other questions, guys?
So I see one more question in the chat box. If EVs are about the future, what will be the role of mechanical, automotive engineer in developing automobiles? Will it be more or less electrical in near future, or only electrical engineers will play a key role? What will be the roles of mechanical and automotive engineers? So should they upgrade their skills, or kind of this question? If EVs is all about future, what will be the roles of mechanical and automotive engineers?
So Padmesh, I did respond in the chat because we were overshooting the time, so I thought maybe I'll respond it there itself. So it is very simple equation right now that we have, guys. The place where we stand today, from a future standpoint, at least for next 25 years, our future is secure. The way India is moving and the place where we are right now in the world. From from a content perspective, in terms of these silos that we have, my take is very simple. It's ultimately problem solving, nothing else. So electrical engineer, civil engineer, computer engineer, mechanical engineer, all these we made for our own conveniences. Right now with things like Chat GPT and other generative AIs that we have, most likely we'll be reaching a point, if you guys have seen that Interstellar movie, where that Jarvis robo was there. I think it was named Jarvis, where you could tell and it would compute and tell you what needs to be done. And there would be a suggestion that you will get, and then it is up to you to decide what needs to be done. So that is the real engineering, which we finally all need to shoot for. When we say real engineering, it's very important for us to understand that feeling is what it means. Wherein if you have the engineering feel, you can resolve almost every problem in the world. So when I say feel, what it means is, say for example, if somebody asks you that there is a 100 kg ball, and I throw it in the air with 1 kg force, what is the height it will reach? Right? If I'm able to launch it with 1 kg of force in air, what is the height it reaches? If we start sitting and calculating F is equal to ma, and then we go and put those laws of motion and say, okay, my final velocity is 0, v plus u is equal to at, etc., and we try and put some g values, that is where we have a problem. We should have a feel that 100 kg ball cannot go up with 1 kg force. What is this 1 kg force is what engineering is. Rest everything is only just nuances of engineering. So if you are able to get this feel, which is the basic motive of this particular program, I think you are done. You can attempt anything and everything in any field. And automobiles as such is just a system. It is neither engineering, neither electrical, non-mechanical, nothing. It's only an automotive system, the way our body is, same way that machine is. So it has got all features, all factors, what we call as different branches of engineering. And that is why we are talking about having a good spread of the team in terms of disciplines, so that you are able to understand how to integrate and develop a system. If the system works properly as an integrated system, you are done. And that is what matters. So whether you are mechanical, electrical, computer, whichever branch you are from, the future is yours, the automobile is yours.
Just to add what Sam said, uh, you know, nobody stops you to learn some of the things from other ends, right? If your fundamentals are in mechanical, now so much of knowledge is available, right? Reeve is just one example. In this 18 months, you'll always understand the role of electrical systems in the mechanical systems, or how a computer science can be used, right? So while few of you would be in core mechanical, but you can always acquire some additional knowledge in other areas and become slightly versatile, right? Become all-rounder. So that doesn't matter what is the problem in front of you, right? You'll be able to solve them because you know now the width of it, right? So these are fundamental streams which are not going to go away, right? So please do not carry any misconception. It will take different shape and form, but fundamental things will remain fundamental. Right? So do not fall prey to the misconceptions. Till today, we refer all books in the industry needed what you would have studied during your college time. We still refer them, and that's how industry is built. All the software tools are built. There's no option.
Adding to that point, I have some points on my side. There, it's very important when we say we are going towards software-defined vehicles. Whatever the software might be written, it has to be actuated by a mechanical system or electrical system. Even if you have an electrical system, there's a motor. It will be interfaced with a mechanical system, and ultimately, which will allow the vehicle to move. So I don't think there is that the role of automotive engineers or like mechanical engineers is going to reduce in the automotive sector. It's more like you have the challenges which you were looking at earlier will change, shift direction. Now you might have to look at, there is a very interesting topic of axial flux motors, which is a very great, which has a very high power density. But the main issue which they are facing there is with respect to how it can be manufactured, and the issue is not from electrical side; it's mainly on the mechanical side, how the bearings, whether the bearings can handle the tilting moment or not. So it's a mechanical challenge; it's a mechanical problem. Those are the problems where you can look into. And similarly for electrical students also, even when we say software defined, the software has to run on some electronics or electricity platform, and then only the software can work.
Yeah, you're right, Yashdeep. Ultimately, it is common sense, and we all know in the world, common sense is the least available sense. So that is what we are after, and if we get our common senses senseful, most likely there is no nonsense in this world. So. Anything else, guys? Any other questions?
I think if there are no questions, we can close the session. If they have any questions, maybe you can reach us at pawan@saeindia.org, manager at SAE India IBS, SAEIBS.org, sorry, manager at SAEIBS.org. So please write your queries if you have any queries related to registration, SAE India REEV related queries. Please feel free to write. Thank you all for joining this Saturday afternoon session. Hope it was insightful. And thanks the organizing committee and steering committee to take time out for students.
Thank you all.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you all.